Most people don't fail because they're weak. They fail because they believe the wrong story about themselves. Let's begin.
You ever feel like something in you just folds when it matters most? Like you want to be disciplined, you want to finish the race? But somewhere along the way you just quietly disappear, like a resignation. It's like you're ghosting your own goals. And what's wild is, you don't even really quit loudly, it's like a slow fade. You stop showing up, you stop believing, you stop fighting. And no one even knows, because you're so good at pretending everything's fine. You show up every day and they ask you about your progress and you start making up lies to disguise the fact that you quit. Again. But deep down, you feel it in your chest. There's an ache and a voice that whispers, you did it. Again. Why do you always give up, man? Let's break this bad habit wide open. Because this isn't just about motivation anymore. It's about self-trust. There's a part of you that's starving to finally believe in yourself. And if you can't trust yourself because you make promises and break them over and over again, your very identity starts to collapse, and that's very, very bad. You don't have to blame yourself and start to sulk, but you must take responsibility. And I think you searching for this video is the first step to that, so let's get started. Let's talk about what's really happening when you quit, why it keeps happening, what it costs you, and how you break this cycle for good. You don't quit because you're lazy. You quit because you're wired to protect yourself. See, quitting feels safer than failing. It's kind of like a built-in eject button, a trapdoor out of shame. If I quit, at least I didn't lose. If I disappear, at least I didn't get rejected. If I numb out, at least I don't feel like a fraud. Quitting is essentially you being afraid of your own success and, the effort required to get there. Which is kind of crazy because success is wonderful, and effort is practically unlimited. All you have to do when you're exhausted at the end of the day is eat and go to bed. Then, almost magically, your capacity for effort is replenished the next day. Being afraid of effort really doesn't make any sense. It's not that you don't want it bad enough. It's that you've been training your brain to survive, not succeed. And survival only speaks one language. Avoid pain. Avoid risk. Avoid the truth that you might not be who you say you are. Here's the sinister part though, the pain you're avoiding while doing it still shows up, it just shows up later. And when it shows up later, it's far, far worse. I forget who it was, but someone said those who refuse to bear the pain of discipline bear the pain of regret instead. And take it from me. You probably even already know. The pain of regret is way worse than the pain of putting effort toward your goals. The pain of putting effort toward your goals actually subsides after a while, doesn't it? The pursuit becomes sweet because you're active and dynamic again. You've reconnected with what it truly means to be human. You think, that wasn't so hard. I can have anything I want in life when I feel like this. It's good. You come back in contact with your own freedom and potential. Let me ask you something. When you picture your future self, do you see someone who finishes what they start? If not, why? It might be wired into you. Here's a very dangerous factoid for you. The most dangerous thing about quitting is what it teaches your nervous system. It tells your brain, the person I belong to is not the kind of person who follows through, and it remembers that. So your mind lowers the bar. You don't trust your own goals anymore, you shrink your vision just to feel realistic and safe. But that's not being realistic, that's being wounded. That's being maimed, injured by your own lack of self-belief. You know what quitting is a lot of the time? It's self-betrayal dressed up as taking a break. And it feels reasonable. I'm just tired, I'll start again when I'm ready. I wasn't that into it anyway. But if we're honest, underneath that is a fractured self-image. A part of you that doesn't trust you anymore. You said you'd change, but you didn't. You said you'd show up, but you ghosted. You said this time was different, but it wasn't. And eventually that pain builds. There's a quote from the book, The Mountain Is You, that hits me really hard when I think about this. Self-sabotage is when you know what you need to do, but you're afraid of who you'll have to become to do it. I'll say it again. Self-sabotage is when you know what you need to do, but you're scared of who you'll have to become to do it. That's what this is. This isn't about quitting, is it? Nope, it's about identity grief. You're scared of shedding the version of you that's always struggled. Because struggle is familiar, comfortable, predictable. Growth is the opposite. It's uncertain, wild, and vulnerable. And unless you learn to shed that old identity, you'll keep self-sabotaging the new one. Let me give you a simple way to think about this. Picture a snake. Every once in a while, it has to shed its skin. So, it doesn't mean the old skin was bad, it just means you outgrew it. And if it doesn't shed, It literally suffocates. You've outgrown the identity of a quitter, but you keep wearing that skin because honestly, it's safe. That's why it chokes you now. That's why your soul feels restless. That's why your spirit feels muffled. That's why every time you quit, it hurts even more than it did the last time. Because some deep part of you knows you weren't born to play small. So what exactly do you do to get out of this slavery? Here's where we get practical, so pay attention. Here are 3 real shifts you can apply today to get yourself out of this slump forever. Number 1, decrease the starting energy. James Clear said it best. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. You keep quitting because the bar is too high. You think change only counts if it's dramatic. Wrong. Your brain is a huge part of what's holding you back, and honestly, your brain considers any small change significant. Think of it like drops in a bucket, and remember, a rainstorm floods a small town 1 drop at a time. So, make it easy. Make it laughably doable. Want to write a book? Write 100 words? Want to get fit? Do 5 push-ups? Want to start a content creation business? Just post one thing. Never forget this one statement. Seriously, commit it to memory right now. Consistency is better than intensity. Because guess what? Discipline isn't really about pressure, it's about rhythm. We're transforming identities here, and honestly, identities are not affected even slightly by just crushing a single day. They're rewired over weeks and months of consistent activity, even if it's small. I'm telling you that quite literally, if you were to go to the gym for 10 minutes every day for 6 months straight, that would rewire your identity way stronger than if you went once a week for an hour. Number 2, identify the quit trigger. Most people don't quit randomly. There's always a moment. There's a feeling or a voice that sends you spiraling. You gotta track it. Literally write in a notebook. What happens right before I quit? Right at the top. Then imagine those scenarios. Describe them step by step. What's the environment like? What did someone say? What did you think, etc.? Examine those seemingly insignificant details and draw conclusions from them. You might figure out that someone says something that sets you off, or a thought about an embarrassing moment in the past frightens you. It could be anything, no matter what it is. Find it, name it, then we can interrupt it. Interruption is key. Marketers call this pattern interrupt. It's what they put in their ads on Instagram, YouTube, and wherever to get you to stop scrolling and pay attention to them. They spend a lot of money on this, so we can safely say that it works, and it works very well. Once you see your quitting pattern, you're not inside it anymore. Now, you're outside. You're the observer. And observers have choices. Third, after you've interrupted your own pattern, you want to attach your goals to your identity, not your mood. Here's what I mean. If you had a goal to post content on the internet for a business you own, don't aim to post consistently. That's such a vague and lifeless goal. Instead, design your routine to match the belief that you're someone who creates posts, videos, etc. that really matter. Robots can post every day, but only humans create things that change people's lives. That might look like setting a 30-minute content block right after your morning coffee. Same time, same place, every day, no debate. Don't aim to be more productive. Aim to be incisive. Build a calendar that protects the things that move your life forward. That could mean giving your deep work 90 minutes, phone off, headphones on, before you ever open email or social media. Don't aim to have more discipline. Structure your environment so momentum happens without debate. That means your gym clothes are out the night before. Your workspace is clean before bed. The friction is gone. So action becomes automatic. This isn't about convincing yourself of anything. It's about proving you are who you say you are with behavior. That's when everything changes. Because confidence doesn't come from hype, it comes from evidence. Confident people are confident because they know something about themselves is true. A great public speaker walks on stage confident because he's done this like 100 times. But the thing about confidence is that honestly, much of what we call confidence is really just the removal of doubt. You won't need to do something 100 times, you'll just need to do it once and realize, hey, nothing bad happened. It's never as bad as we think. Removing effort and going straight from action leads to action itself, which leads to you realizing that everything is actually okay, which leads to you doing it every day. Problem solved. And the more your day reflects what actually matters to you, the less quitting even makes sense. Moods are unreliable, but identity is magnetic. And the more you act in alignment with your future self, the more quitting becomes impossible. Because you're not forcing yourself to keep going, you're simply being who you are. You're not weak for quitting, you're just tired of being someone you don't recognize. But you can rebuild self-trust, not overnight, brick by brick. Every time you finish what you start, you send a message to your brain. I'm back, baby, and I mean it this time. I'm not going anywhere. This isn't about being perfect, it's about being present. Because the truth is, your life isn't waiting to start, it's already happening. And the version of you who finishes, who follows through, they're already inside you. Not out there, not someday, right now. So let's break this down, one last time. Step 1, recognize the pattern. You don't quit because you're weak. You quit because the person you think you are isn't built to finish. That changes today. Step 2, assume the identity. You're not trying to be consistent. You're already the kind of person who finishes what they start. Start acting like it. Step 3, feel it first. Neville Goddard said, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Feel the relief, the pride, the freedom, as if it's already yours. Step 4, persist through the void. When nothing's changing, that's the test. Push through it. That's where most people fold. Step 5, burn the bridge. Decide. There's no going back to the old you. That version of you is gone. You're in this now, for real. Listen, if you want to get fast results when it comes to rewiring those pesky negative quitting thoughts you have about yourself, get my exercise in the description. Make sure to watch the next video and subscribe if you're tired of breaking your own promises. See you in the next one.